Hello and welcome to the Contrary Landlord. Today we're going to delve into the wonderful world of furnaces. Please like and subscribe. So on this video we are looking at natural gas furnaces. Natural gas furnaces are usually found in colder climates where they get a lot of use. This is a cold climate. This is also a very snowy climate. Natural gas is less expensive than electricity by a large amount. It's also less expensive by propane and fuel oil, but you are sometimes forced to use propane and fuel oil if it's that there's no hookup for natural gas that is next to the house, under the street or under the road. So it depends on the situation. This is the outlet, the exhaust. If that exhaust gets covered by snow on the newer models, something that's been built in, say, the last 30, 40 years, you have an automatic shutoff that prevents the carbon monoxide building up in the house and killing the inhabitants. That's an extremely important thing to have. But this also causes you problems. If the furnace goes out, look for the exhaust, look and see if it's covered by ice and snow. If it is, then you can clean it off and maybe reset it, or sometimes it resets itself automatically and comes back on. So this is the outside, very important. It looks like this year there is not a lot of snow from this direction. Next year there could be 5 feet here and you'd be constantly digging it out, or at least the tenants would be constantly digging it out if they want heat. This is the natural gas hookup to the provider, whatever the company it is providing the natural gas. They have pipes that are going under the street, come back to the house. The right hand side part there that's all rusted is actually the pipes that are coming into the house. They put on a meter so they can measure how much natural gas you use and charge you for it. They also have a good sized nice regulator that goes off of the meter into the house. Looks like this one meter is wireless. So they can literally drive a truck by and take the reading the meter without having somebody come over here and look at it. I may be wrong about that. If anybody knows more about the natural gas meters than I do and know it's not a wireless natural gas meter, put it in the comments. I'd be very interesting to know, but it does look like one to me. This is the thermostat for the furnace in this house. I love these thermostats. This is a very, very old one. It's a very simple one. It shows you the temperature. It also has the settings on it. You can move the little gauge up and down for temperature. And that's it. It runs off a little bit of electricity directly off the furnace. And it does its job very, very well. And unless the electricity goes off, this furnace will run forever. And it's a good furnace. I'm not very, very happy with the new digital thermostats, and I will explain that when I can show you one. But this is a lovely piece of equipment, and it's lasted forever. This is the natural gas furnace for this house. It's natural gas forced air. This one says that it was installed in October 2013, so it's not that old. It's looks like high efficiency by everything. It has used the bones from the old original furnace. I'm assuming that this just had one furnace before this one. They put in a new exhaust outlet that goes out here along that PVC, black PVC pipe. That is new. Then it's got the ductwork that was from the old furnace. This here is the exhaust for the old furnace that's not working anymore. And they used the intake from the old furnace. Just following along here without having to put another one in. So that's just using the existing infrastructure to do the furnace. Let's take a little look around here. What else can we look at here? It has a standard filter. Let's see if we can get it out here. We might not be able to. That's your standard filter. This is not, I'd say, kind of a low-end furnace that they put in here, but it works just as well as a high-end one and doesn't cost as much. So we'll put that there. What else can I say about this? This is the lines for the natural gas. Anytime you see that for water or natural gas, it means that it's on. When it's turned, let's see if we can hit like that, that means it's shut off. So that's turned on. That's a good thing because it's in the middle of the winter. The old furnace was a high-end furnace. Even had controls here for dehumidifier. And then I think that's about all we can say about this furnace. So to give you an idea, well, each house is individual because of its history and because of how it was built. This is a completely different house, and it is a lot better set up for the exhaust and the intake. The exhaust there is on the right, the intake is on the left, and as you can see, it's a good 6 feet off the ground. I like to see that. That gives a lot more leeway. You have to get an awful lot of snow, and the possibility, the only problem you might have of it is sometimes it ices up and causes the furnace to shut off because it can't exhaust the hot air. So this is the hookup for the natural gas. The reason why I'm showing it to you is it looks very similar to the one, the first house that I showed you. I think that the first house had a meter that was newer, but this one's got a regulator on it. What I am showing you this though is that what's coming out of the ground is not as bad off as far as being old and rusted as the other house was. This is newer. So this is even a possibility that this has been put in the last 10, 20 years. Maybe they took the entire furnace that maybe was a, I'm guessing probably a fuel oil furnace, and they converted it, put a new furnace in and converted it over to natural gas. But yeah, it, well, possibly even longer than that. The pipes that go in for the natural gas to the house are not that old. Some of the some of the fittings though look pretty rusted. I don't know. I'm not sure what the history is on this house, but this is a little bit different. A lot a more recent line in from the provider, from the natural gas company. So this is the furnace to the house that we were looking at the outside. This is installed August 2009. It is a higher end furnace, and the reason you can figure that out is this is what the filter looks like. It's not one of the little normal filters that they have on it. And it's got the exhaust. that we were looking on the outside that goes along the ceiling here and goes to the outside. This is the setup for it. It looks like it's a pretty nice furnace. It looks like it's got plenty of years left in it, and it was built into the ductwork that was already here from the furnace they had before. It's also a forced air furnace, and this is the ductwork for the forced air, and this is the old ductwork here for the looks like the intake. Okay, this next furnace has a unique exhaust that goes through the roof. This is much more handy to have. All I have to worry about is getting snow on it in the winter. That's too much, but then you're going to have to shovel the snow off the roof anyway when it gets to a certain height. Don't want too much weight on that roof because it's going to cause problems with the rafters and it damage the roof. So there is the exhaust for this house, and I'm not going to bother showing you the meter or the intake and the for the natural gas, but that is a really good thing to have because it's way off the ground. It goes straight up, and it is not dependent on having to clear the ice and snow off of it. Okay, this is the furnace that I want to show you from the house that I showed that was venting out through the roof. And you can see where the PVC pipes, the exhaust and intake are going straight up. And this is a completely different furnace than the first two, simply because this is a boiler furnace. And it goes through heating up water tanks and forcing it through pipes to heat the house. The old-fashioned types of houses that use this type of method had registers. They don't have, the registers are very different now. I'll show you that in a minute. But you can see the piping or the heat, where the pressure tank is there on the left, and that is the pressure tank that they've installed recently. This is the old pressure tank, much smaller. This is much more efficient, holds more water, and essentially this is a very new installed heater. It was installed, it's always had this. This house was built in 1979, and it's always had boiler heat. But this is, I believe, 2 years old. I'm not seeing anything written on it, but I'm pretty sure that's when it was put in. I'm going to take you upstairs, take a look at the where the actual heating unit, where the pipes are, to show you that. This is the heating registers of one of the back bedrooms upstairs for this house, and you can see essentially what it is there's pipe that goes clear across and goes to the boiler heater downstairs, and it gives off heat, and that's how the house is heated. Since we've been showing you the thermostats, this is, I think, a year old, and standard thermostat. You have a bunch of settings on the bottom there that controls it, as far as you can set the time. You can set what time of the day the heat comes on or goes off, how much high heat it is. There's a lot you can do it. It's all manual on this one. The real fancy new ones, you can do it through an app off your phone that's got Wi-Fi, and you can use the app off your standard phone. It's either Android or Apple, and you can set it that way. Actually, the newer ones that you can adjust and do the settings off the app, off the phone, are a lot easier to do than these manual ones. So I'm going to end this video on furnaces and natural gas heating with this pretty view of these pine trees here. I'm going to, in the future, do some videos on the care and feeding of natural gas furnaces and give you kind of a background in something like this. This is kind of spring for the very north of the Midwest. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button and subscribe for future information. And thank you for supporting our channel. And we'll see you on the next one.